Good morning, and anytime you have in your time zone, welcome to the 2021 regional meeting of Europe and Eurasia Globe Program Community. The meeting is organized by the Regional Office for Europe and Eurasia, which is here in Prague, in Czech Republic. And my name is Snjezana Markovic-Zoraja, and as you can see, I am here today with my colleagues, with Dana Votápková, Lenka Kleger, and with Michal Barkáš. And I would like to welcome also Lynn Wigbels, the international coordinator of the GLOBE program, who is connecting from United States. And we will also have the director of the GLOBE implementation office, Tony Murphy, with us today. And first of all, I would like to say that this event would not be possible to organize without the GLOBE implementation office management. The GIO is hosted by the University Corporation of Atmospheric Research in Boulder, Colorado, in the United States. And other partners who are supporting the GLOBE program worldwide is NASA, National Science Foundation, NOAA, and the US Departments of State. So thanks to all those teams and organizations who are supporting GLOBE. And I also want to say thank you to all the individuals who support the GLOBE program and make it alive and vibrant throughout the whole year, the whole school year. First of all, to country coordinators, also to Europe and Eurasia board members, to the trainers, to GLOBE working group members, and to the US Embassy staff, and also to all the parents and teachers and grandparents and other people who are supporting the students. This year, we have already the second virtual regional meeting. Before that, we had the in-person meetings. And this year, we are again here. We can see each other through the screen. We have more than 220 people registered, coming from 29 countries from our region. And there are even some more who are coming from other world regions. And we will meet today and next 2 days, and you will see what sessions you will manage to attend. We will be welcoming you in any of the session. And we see this all as an opportunity to meet with the broader community. And this would not be able if we have just one in-person meeting. So that's why we are happy to have you here today. And as you could see, Dana already shared the screen with the program for today. And let's just overview the agenda for a while. We have a little bit more than 3 hours today that we can be together. And in the first part, you will learn about the updates, about the new developments in the GLOBE program. We will have Tony with us presenting. After that, we will also screen the movie Agents of Change. And then we will have a short break. And after that, we will have the whole session where the students and teachers will show us their activities that go beyond the science. And they will talk about how they can benefit the environment and the local communities. We also invite you to join the meeting on the next days. And if you want to see more information on the agenda for the next days, please go to the event website. You can see the link to the chat. And that's all from me for the beginning. I would give the word to Lenka.
Hello, everyone. I would like to follow up on what Bara said. We have over 220 participants registered for today's meeting. And us, these participants, we represent the GLOBE community. We have teachers, we have students, we have scientists, trainers, GLOBE partners, and GLOBE friends with us. Although not all 220 people will probably join today or all the session, we are still today quite many, and we come from different parts of Europe and Eurasia, and also from outside of the region. So let's have a look now what countries do we come from, and learn a bit about each other. We will do it through an online poll, through a tool called Mentimeter. Before we do it, I will explain how to do it technically, and soon you will find a link to Mentimeter poll in a chat window. So once you will click on the link, it will bring you to another window where you will see 2 questions. First one will be, what country are you from? And so please write the name of your country and confirm by clicking confirm. Just after, another question will open, and it will be, what is the temperature in your place? There you will see a range, so please choose the one that suits for your place. When this happens, please come back to us. I will share my screen and show you the results, show you how, what countries are we from. So you should be seeing now the Mentimeter link. So please click on the link. Do not write this information about your country to chat, just look to the chat and click on the link, and go to menti.com to see the poll.
I just want to say, for the people who might get lost during switching from window to window, that once you answer in the Mentimeter, you can always come back to Zoom and you will see what Lenka is showing. Yes,
I have already shared my screen, and I can see the names of the countries jumping in. So please, if you have finished your voting, come back to Zoom, look at the screen with us. The results are in the so-called word cloud. In case that you don't know it yet, it works so that the more words of the more same words are written, the bigger the word is. So at the moment, I can see that the most participants come from Croatia, because Croatia is the biggest word in the word cloud. We obviously have many people from Czech Republic, from Malta, from Israel, and I can see that already 40 people voted. So we have Switzerland, Ukraine, Belgium, France, Peru, North Macedonia, United States. So obviously we are really not only from our region, but also from outside the region, from really remote, distant countries like Peru, Greece, North Macedonia, Republic of Latvia, Spain, Cyprus. I hope I haven't forgotten about anyone. And so let's look now what is the temperature. So I can see that the temperature is as diverse as our group is. So we have even very cold countries with less than 10 degrees. But luckily for us, the most people are having a nice, warm, maybe sunny weather with 25 degrees or more. So it's probably because many participants come from Israel, Croatia, and southern countries. So yeah, we can see that we could do some research here, and we could really see the diversity even in such a small things like the weather and the temperature in our places.
You can actually make a hypothesis which country was there with the lowest temperature from the participants that we had.
You can write it into chat if you want your hypothesis. And we also had here a very nice suggestion that if you would like to do it, you can rename yourself right there after your name, also the country where you come from, so that we don't have it only during this Mentimeter poll, but we can always see who comes from which country. So if you feel like, you can change your name to your name and your country. Well, I don't see any more results coming now, so I will stop sharing my screen. Thank you very much for everyone for voting, for sharing your country and your local conditions with us, and I will give word back.
Thank you, Lenka. And we could see the diversity, and just to remind you that the Europe and Eurasia region is quite a large one and quite diverse one. It's not only Europe in the sense that we from Prague may think about, but it's the whole area from Ireland or even Iceland on the west till Kyrgyz Republic in the east, and from the north Scandinavian countries till the south to Israel. So our region is really quite large. And it's always good to have this in mind, that we are not in the same time zone, even if we come from the Europe and Eurasia region. And I want to say that we are happy to see the people that we already know, because we've been meeting with you for many years, but we are also happy to see new faces, new teachers, students who are joining Globe and who are starting with Globe. And over the last year, we have been meeting many of you and your colleagues at other online opportunities. Just to remind few of them, we had so many webinars within the phenology campaign that Lenka was organizing, and where you could also meet the scientists, and where we could see teachers and students presenting their research or their explorations of the trees nearby the school. We also had an Earth Day webinar with the journalist Maria, where she was talking about how to communicate Globe and how to deliver the message and the good things that we do in Globe to the others. And in May, we were focusing on water. We had a water body show, which was a virtual, let's say, movie screening of the videos that students prepared, and also showing the story maps, the kind of blogs or online portals that also students prepare, describing the rivers and lakes and seashores. So that were the things that were happening this year. And at other occasions, we were together with the country coordinators preparing online trainings for you, or we were attending the events that you've been part of during this online or distant learning time. To wrap it up, we have been in touch with you a lot, and we really appreciate that you keep being active and that you attend the international events or webinars that we organize, and that you grow the international collaboration, be through the joint virtual events or through the phenology campaign collaboration groups, or any other activity that you do towards your partners in other schools or in other countries. And so we are happy that you're with us today, and I give the word back to Dana.
Yes, thank you, Bara. Good afternoon, good morning, dear Globe friends. I'm very glad to meet you all today, and even the meeting is online meeting, I see or I feel that the energy of the Globe program is really visible there, and it's nice to be all together again. You know that the Globe program worldwide is managed by the Globe Implementation Office that is located in Boulder, Colorado. And so today we have with us Lynn Wigbels, Globe International Coordinator, and also probably we will have the director of the Globe program, Dr. Tony Murphy. I believe that she will join us in some minutes to give a presentation. But before we start with this, we have a really special surprise for you, especially for all teachers from the Globe program. So let's start with this beautiful surprise.
There are those who walk among us, who are champions of discovery, agents of change, and curators of passion. They challenge us to ask questions like what, why, and how. They encourage us to explore beyond our backyard and they captivate our minds and nurture our curiosities. Because of them, we better understand our world. We know what causes an earthquake, why a light bulb lights, how clouds produce rain. They reassure us that it is okay to think without boundary, explore the possibilities of what could be. There are those who walk among us who inspire us to investigate, to create, to find solutions, to become part of and ultimately change our world. For all the things you do, for who you are, and for who you inspire us to become, we offer our most sincere thank you to you, our teachers. The GLOBE program is proud to partner and interact with a worldwide community of inspiring teachers who cultivate interest and the love of learning through interaction and hands-on engagement and investigation of Earth. Join us in thanking educators everywhere. Share this with your friends, family, and favorite teacher today.
Yeah. So maybe you know that today it's a World Teachers Day, and so we'd like to join this beautiful video and congratulations to all teachers and give them a big thank for their great work they are doing every day with their students at schools. So congratulations and thank you. Yeah, and so now I'd like to ask Lynn to give some short speech at the beginning as an international coordinator.
Okay, well, thank you, Donna. Yeah, greetings from the Globe Implementation Office. We are really excited about this week and the gathering of so many of our friends and colleagues from the Europe and Eurasia region. The region, you have done so much to implement GLOBE and push GLOBE, the boundaries of GLOBE, providing so many opportunities for teachers and students to learn about the environment and about each other and to collaborate. And so this, it's an exciting week to be able to see some of the things that you've been doing over the past year, particularly in the times that we've been. You know, we all love getting together and being with each other in person. As Bara said, this is our second time we've had to do this virtually. It is wonderful to see so many of you this way, but we're certainly looking forward to when we can get back together in person. But nonetheless, the things that you all have been doing over the past year and a half, despite the pandemic, to keep the GLOBE community alive and vibrant, have just been very, very gratifying. So we really thank you for everything that you've done. And we're looking forward again to seeing what that has been over the past year and a half. So thank you for Donna for the opportunity to provide these greetings. And you know, we at the GIO, we're here, as Bara and Donna mentioned, to support what you all are doing. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Lynn. Thank you for the support of all country coordinators and support of us regional office. It's very appreciated. So we have only also, I mentioned, or I see in the among the participants that we have Mustać, country coordinator in the Netherlands. And today in Netherlands, they have a special day. They have a Globe Day. They celebrate the Globe Day. And so Mustać, if you are online, you can you see us or hear us? because he promised to be with a group of 40 teachers, and they would like to greet us and say something. So that's why I'm asking Matthijs, but probably Matthijs can't hear us. And okay, so let's leave it if they will be available in a few minutes, and maybe I give a floor to Bara back.
Okay, so while we are waiting for Tony to join us for his presentation, let's just see what we will be doing today. So later on, we will also have with us Allison Leidner from NASA, who will have a short speech, and we will also have another special guest. We will have Mr. Michal Broža from the United Nations Center here in Prague, Czech Republic. And those two people will be an important guest for our, let's say, main session of today, where we will have also the students' presentations and videos that you submitted. So let's be tuned for that. And in the meanwhile, I would like to also share with you some presentation, or not really presentation, but some overview, what the regional office, what were the priorities of the regional office. So let me just go through it, and after I finish with that, if we still have time and we don't have Tony, we can also hear some few words of greetings from Brian Campbell, if he's ready to do it. So Brian, if you would like to do it, perhaps in 3 or 5 minutes, we will have some short time. So let me share the screen. Let's wait for it. Yes. So last year, we've been talking about the priorities for the year 2020 and 2021. And we really are here to support the collaboration. And apart from what I was already talking about as the webinars and phenology campaign collaboration groups, we also kind of behind the scene, we try to promote some topics which are indicated as the topics that are common in our region, common for more countries. So perhaps you haven't noticed that yet that much, but for example, even the topic of air quality is now growing up. We have countries such as Ireland, Netherlands, or France that are very much interested in this topic, and perhaps in future we may have even more countries joining. So we can perhaps expect some more activity around that topic in our region and some more collaboration. And a big shout out to Italy, Globe Italy, and the team who introduced the piloting of microplastics, and that I'm sure that some of you actually joined. So as we learned yesterday from Sandro, this initiative should continue, and there will be some more activities and trainings and support from the scientist team from Australia. So let's also stay tuned for that. Water bodies collaboration, we see last year that it was a topic of water was very, let's say, popular. And again, we already plan some more collaboration on that. And we are also receiving some inputs what we should focus this on, that perhaps we should also focus it on the changes of the water bodies in the historical perspective. For example, how the industrial growth or the growth of the urban areas has impact on the quality of water and also on the landscape around the rivers. So that might be another topic for the next year. The session that we will have today is focused on how Globe can actually benefit the environment. And that's something that is a part of the Globe strategic plan to have more student projects and more student activities who are focusing on the field action or awareness towards the local community. So this is exactly how we can go beyond the research, beyond collecting data, but also to do the action. And I believe that this is very motivating for students, that they can be part of the change. And you will also see that GLOBE program developed the videos, the series of videos, which is called GLOBE Agents of Change. And we will be screening one of them today. That are witnessing how this can be done by GLOBE students. Here I have tomorrow, but it's actually today because I was showing the same slides yesterday. So this session is actually today. Sorry for that mistake. And together with that, it goes to topic how to communicate GLOBE. We have a wonderful GLOBE vloggers, and I will take time now to introduce both of them. So we have a vlogger, student vloggers. I have to remind, it's a student vloggers, GLOBE students, who are actively part of GLOBE. And one of them is Hannah from Malta. We will see some of her videos today. And the other one is Johannes from Estonia. And I believe that we have his video for tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. And there are other vloggers from all around the world, from the GLOBE countries, other GLOBE regions, and they already have the full playlist on YouTube where they are introducing themselves, when they are talking about how they do GLOBE, or when they are introducing the topics which are important for them, important for their local communities. So I really encourage you to go to GLOBE Implementation Office YouTube channel and then search for the playlist of the GLOBE student vloggers. It's really a great experience to watch those. What we do is that we are in contact with the community that I was already talking about. The main partners are CCs, DCCs, which means country coordinators and deputy country coordinators. Just to inform you, in each country, it's slightly different. Some of them represent the government institutions, such as ministries of education or any public authorities. Some are from universities, some are from NGOs, some are from centers, and some have closer to the education field, and some have closer to the science-oriented field. So it's a big and diverse and group which we have and which we are happy to have actually. And this year we have some new people, a new country which joined GLOBE this year is Armenia. So we are really happy that we have one more country. And we have some countries that they have been in GLOBE, but they actually restarted GLOBE. They have a new country coordinator, for example, Moldova or Portugal. So you will be able to perhaps meet with schools from those countries as well. And here I would like to also highlight countries who joined GLOBE last year, started the first school year and first trainings. And this is Slovakia and Slovenia and also Georgia. And we actually are happy to have them, and we can already hear from them. We will already have presentations, for example, from schools from Slovak Republic on this meeting. So it's really a big achievement, I would say, in 1 year to start GLOBE and to also have the courage to present at the international meeting. So let's see them, I think, tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. And we also keep in assisting with trainings and attend the events that we organize. And it's a big honor and pleasure for us. And also last year, we've been assisting a lot to trainers and to people who want to become trainers to file the applications for the trainers or mentors trainer status. So that's what we do, what we continue doing. And if you would have any suggestions for us on what else we should do, we are happy to take it from you. You can even post it to the chat if there are some topics that are very close to what you do in school, to what you want to do in future, or to some partnership that you have. We've also hear from our partners from the PULCHRA project today. So although our office is not part of the project, we are very let's say, linked to them also, as well. So that's basically what I wanted to show and say about our work. And also, I hope that 2022 meeting will be already in person, but this we will see, and I think we will update you on that when the time comes. So that's all from me. And if you have any questions or any suggestions, you can even post it to the chat right now. And I can see that we are already more than 60 people. And I can see that Brian was posting something that you can check in the on the Globe website and Twitter page. And Brian, if you want to say a few more words and to greet the participants. Yeah, you are here. Hi.
Thank you. Yeah, greetings from Maryland in the United States. Those of you, I know most of you on here, so it's great to see all of you again. Once again, my name is Brian Campbell, and I'm the lead for the Trees Around the Globe Student Research Campaign. And just a couple things, we just were granted the extension of the campaign for year 4. So, and the one thing that is super important for Europe and Eurasia is that, you know, a lot of the participants who are part of the European Phenology Campaign are also members and participants of the Trees Around the Globe Student Research Campaign. And the one thing that we're really going to focus on this year for year 4 of the Trees Around the Globe Student Research Campaign are multi-campaign collaborations. So a lot of the data that, I should say, almost all the data that's coming in for greenings, green up and green down, is from the European Phenology Campaign with the spring and fall, the spring and fall campaigns. So we're super excited about that, and we have students from around the world as part of the campaign who are using that data. So I just wanted to bring to your attention that we're really going to focus on that, where we want as our campaign, the Trees Around the Globe campaign, focuses on tree height, land cover, greenings, and the carbon cycle. So we really want to bring together the observations and measurements that come in from a bunch of the different campaigns, and when the ultimate goal is, for instance, when someone is out taking a green down measurement or a green up measurement, to also take a tree height observation and potentially look around and take a land cover observation as well. So we get that larger perspective, that larger perspective of what is happening in the environment where you're taking the observation. So just wanted to thank everyone for that. And in the chat, those of you who aren't part of the Trees Around the Globe Student Research Campaign yet, I'll put the link to it. And just if you want to send me a message, we actually have a webinar coming up on the 19th of October, so you can check out the webinar page on this link that I'm going to I'm not sure how much of that you caught at the end, but I was muted and then someone asked me to unmute, so but I posted in the chat the link to the Trees Around the Globe Student Research Campaign. So if you want to take a look at it, you can check out everything that's happening with it. And we're always updating things on it. And I should mention right now, we have participants in the campaign from 58 countries from the Globe community.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah, congratulations to the other year that you got for the campaign. I think it would be too bad if the campaign would end by now, because it got such a wonderful momentum. And we could see that there were synergies also with the phenology campaign, right? And many schools actually, they focused on trees, and they could do the tree height observations, and they could do some other GLOW protocols which are concerning trees, and they were really keen on attending your webinars or presenting even on them. So it's really good news, and we are glad that you are here with us and that you are bringing such a wonderful news. So congratulations. And yeah, we will definitely again spread the word, and we will be sending some reminders that you are also sending a lot, but we can get perhaps some more people on. So thank you. And thanks also to other members of your team, because it's a great teamwork. And I'm giving the word back to Dana.
Yeah, thank you, Bara. So I have information that we have Tony online now with our group. So
yes,
I can't see you still, but so it's our pleasure, Tony, to have you at our meeting of regional meeting, Europe and Eurasia, and we mentioned for the participants that the GLOW program worldwide is managed by the GLOBE Implementation Office in Boulder, Colorado. And so we are very pleased that you, as a director of GLOBE Implementation Office, join us for the regional meeting for today, but also for the other days. And so it's my pleasure also to give you floor for the presentation about the developments of the GLOW program and some plans for this year and the next one.
Mm-hmm.
So there will be 10 or 15 minutes for the presentation, and then there is time for questions after the presentation. So please, it's information for audience. You can put the questions to the chat window, and then we will work with it after the presentation.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Donna and Bar, and I apologize. I've been having some issues with my setup here, so I apologize for being late. And first of all, welcome to all of you teachers who are joining us this morning or this afternoon for the presentation. And GLOBE, as you know, the Global Learning and Observations to Benefit the Environment program, has been in existence for 26 years. And during that time, there has been a lot of developments across the program. And a lot of those developments have been enacted to really make the program easier to implement in many ways for teachers, and also with connections to curricula and science education movements that have also been happening during that time. So with the GLOBE program, the way it has been established, each of the countries that joins the program has a country coordinator, and that country coordinator is the person who implements the program in the country based on the needs of the country and how how it's seen that the program progresses in the country. As Donna said, the GLOBE Implementation Office is the office that's been charged with implementing the program across the different countries and so on. And so we have regional coordination offices in a number of regions in the 6 regions of the program that really work with and support the country coordinators to implement the program overall. So given that kind of structure, and that this was how the program was being implemented, the implementation then in each of the countries, as I said, is brought about with the country coordinator in collaboration with the ministries typically as well. And then it's given to teachers, and teachers are trained in the various protocols within the program. And so there are currently over 50 protocols, science protocols that are in the program, and teachers can get trained in any of those protocols and start implementing the program in their school. And I think it's important to note, for example, that teachers can implement any one GLOBE protocol in their school and collect the data from that, or using that one protocol. And with that, they are in fact a GLOBE school. You do not need to be implementing a large number of protocols within the school. One protocol, using one protocol is sufficient to become a GLOBE school and be a GLOBE teacher. Sometimes teachers do think that there always needs to be more than one protocol. You need to be doing a number of protocols, and you really just need to be doing one protocol to be in fact a GLOBE school. So
Apologies.
May I
yes,
ask you? We can open the presentation for you if it is okay. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Yes. Shall I?
Yes.
Okay, so I will share it for you. Please let me know which slide should I.
Sure. So historically, right, and today that's still the way the school or the way it's implemented at the school level. You as teachers, you use the protocols in the schools with the learning activities as well that have been developed in many cases with the protocols to implement the program in your school. And this was the way that the program would be implemented. And then of course we had the situation that we're still in with COVID. And so if you go to the next slide, please, Lanka, thank you. So as the pandemic started to hit, we were beginning to wonder, how do we make this program still viable as teachers are now teaching from their homes, or schools are being closed and so on all around the world. And so we started looking at the website itself and how do we transmit more information, more learning activities, more ideas to teachers and to parents who are now having kids at home. And so we developed the GLOBE in the time of the Corona pandemic pages, and each of the regional offices had their own page that they created with resources that were made available to anybody, in fact, who wanted to use them to access the materials within the program or other materials that the regional coordination offices staff put on the pages and made available to people. So in addition, we also gave the facility of Zoom to the regional offices so that they could conduct meetings more often with the country coordinators. And then our meetings also had to become virtual meetings. And this is the second virtual meeting that we've had in the Europe region for the regional annual meeting. And we've also had our own annual meeting across the whole program. We also had the second one of those this past summer. And a number of, I guess, a number of the positive pieces, as you talk about the pandemic, some of the positive pieces of that is the realization that we do now have a lot of facilities around technology and the ability to actually hold meetings like this, but also do some training online and putting the emphasis on that technology, I guess, to really be able to facilitate that kind of training and doing it on a larger scale. We were lucky in Globe that we did have the e-training modules, which hopefully some of you have used to learn the protocols from. And so we had some of that infrastructure already in place to be able to continue training teachers, even though we didn't have face-to-face workshops because of the pandemic. And so some of that structure was already in place, and we've really depended on that to continue some of the work of the program. Last year, and many of you probably know the program best probably through the International Virtual Science Symposium. Last year, we eliminated the requirement that students entering the IVSS with their research projects had to or were required to take data using the Globe protocols, and that they were part of the project. That we eliminated that last year, and I believe we're doing the same this year because of the whole pandemic situation, and really requiring that people are safe above everything else. It's certainly great for the students to go out and collect the data and get that experience, that hands-on experience with the science protocols, but safety is paramount in all of this. And we want to make sure that people do continue to be safe during the pandemic as it goes on. Lenka, the next slide. Okay, thank you. Sorry, if you can go back, just there. Thank you. Yep. Yes, thank you. So during the pandemic, of course, life does go on, and so the program has also grown in the number of countries, and so we're now at 126 countries across the world, and these are all Globe countries. And so this past year, we've seen a number of different countries join the program. Slovenia, Moldova, Armenia in the Europe and Eurasia region, and then Bhutan in Asia and Pacific. And the table that you see here, you can see across the 6 regions. So we have Africa, Asia and Pacific, Europe and Eurasia, Latin America and Caribbean, Near East and North Africa, and North America. These are the 6 regions that the 126 countries are divided into. And you can see the number of schools and teachers and students that are spread across those schools as well. And then also the number of alumni from the program who are still actively engaged somehow in the program. And then finally, the Globe observers. And these, of course, are the folks who use the program's app, the Globe Observer, to record and submit data based on the protocols that are in the app and that are available to citizen scientists. You may have heard that the app, there's changes happening in the app, which indeed there are. And we originally had 2 apps within the program, the Globe Observer app, and then also the Globe Data Entry app. And this past year and over the next year, those 2 apps are being combined. And so there will be 1 app within the program. And as teachers and students, you will have the ability to be able to use the 1 app to enter all of the data that you would collect for the program. And so citizen scientists will still be able to access the measurement tools that they would have been able to before. So these would be the clouds, the trees, the land cover, and mosquitoes. Those protocols would still be accessible by the citizen scientists group, the Globe Observers. But then as teachers, you would have access to all of the other protocols within the program that are being added to that app. And so you're not losing any capability. You're not, hopefully you're not going to experience any issues if you have been a heavy user of the app. We're also hoping that this will make it easier for people across the program to be able to enter the data more fully at a particular point when you're out in the field work, let's say, rather than having to put data in when you come back into the classroom. So, and I'll talk a little bit more about the app in a few minutes as well. The next slide, then, you can also see one of the things that we were looking at in the program, within the program, was what the impact of COVID could have or would have or might have on the data collection. And we were tracking it as it was unfolding and what impact this was having on the data collection. And even with our with all of the schools being closed, there was still a large amount of data that was being entered. And in fact, we had some students and and schools that actually transferred some of their data to more around their local area, in fact around their homes and so on, for some of the protocols that they were already working on. And so the reduction in the data was actually not visible, really. That COVID has had very little impact on the amount of data that's being entered. We also, as you know, and some of you may have, automated weather stations, for example, that would that enter the data. So the fact that COVID is in place doesn't really impact a lot of the automated stations that would be collecting data. They'll continue to collect data no matter what happens. So, if you can go back, Lenka. Thank you. So right now, if you look at the homepage, you will be able to see that in total, across the 26 years of the program, there's about 210 million measurements, which is an incredible amount of data to have in a database. And the students and teachers all across the globe and across the program should be very proud of the fact that there are that many data available to students and teachers and scientists looking at particular questions that they might be interested in doing research. And that this data continues to grow. The amount of data continues to grow. And over a month's period across the whole 126 countries that are involved in the program, the amount of data increase per month is somewhere close to a million measurements per month that actually goes in to the system in regular times. And during the COVID, the intense COVID period itself, there were over 1 million measurements that were made and entered during that time period as well. So, and as the program continues to grow with more countries and hopefully more teachers and global observers getting involved, the amount of data overall for the program should continue to increase pretty rapidly. And this will also mean that in cases like we're in right now, where for some reason data collection may not be possible, there are a huge number of data available to teachers and to students for things like the International Virtual Science Symposium, where they can actually use the data that's already there. So you don't need to actually go out and collect the data, because there's just so much available to you in the database already that the data, all of that data is freely accessible to you. So you don't need to go and collect data. It's always good, of course, for the students to experience the data collection and to see how the data that they've collected for the project ties in with the rest of the data. But it's not necessary to do that if you can't. So there should be no worry about the fact that students cannot collect the data for whatever reason that that's going on at the time. Next slide, please. So Earth Day, as many of you know, is a very big day for the program. Earth Day is a time when we announce some new initiatives, but it's also a time of celebration because it is the birthday of the program. And so in 2021, as in previous years, we use that day to celebrate the International Virtual Science Symposium by the selection of students and teachers who have entered or who have submitted a research report into the International Virtual Science Symposium. And depending on the number of badges and so on that the project receives for the project, then students are selected at random, because there's always more students, unfortunately, than we can support to get to the annual meeting. And so these students are selected randomly based on the number of badges and the overall quality of the project as deemed by the judges from the Globe International STEM Network, or the GISN. Those students who are selected then in the past would attend the annual meeting to showcase their research and their project at the annual meeting. The last 2 years, as I said, our annual meeting has been virtual. The students still attend the meeting through virtually, and they can showcase their research that they have created and get feedback and so on from the other students that have been selected as part of that process, and other people at the meeting as well. And so Earth Day in 2022, we're also hoping that at that time, the pandemic will have eased so much so that we can have an outdoor event like we've had in the past on some of the Earth Days, and that you all will also be able to have some access, I guess, to some of the things that schools and regions would have also done in the past. So we're hoping that that will be the situation. However, if it's not, we will continue with our celebration of Earth Day virtually. We will still have the drawing of students' projects based on the results of the International Virtual Science Symposium, and we will still have the drawing on Earth Day for the foreseeable future. So that will be a common practice during the Earth Day celebration next year in 2022 and the following year as well. Next slide. One of the things that we're very excited about this year is this new pilot initiative where students from 2 countries in each of the regions have been selected to become vloggers. And vloggers are basically people who use video as a medium to record what's happening in their daily lives and showcase that to different people. And so we have 12 vloggers from across the program, 1 male and 1 female from each of the 6 regions. And these were selected by an application process. And the students that we have from this region, from Europe and Eurasia, are from Estonia and Malta. And they have created some great videos on the impact of GLOBE on their lives and how they can see the impact of the program and how they can see the program really being integrated into their everyday lives. And each of the students across the whole program has been doing that. And all of these videos are available on GLOBE's YouTube channel. And if you haven't seen any of those, I would suggest that you sit down sometime and at least look through some of those. The students have created a great record of how the program does impact their lives and in what particular way it has. And so Johannes, for example, was talking about the cultural exchanges that he's been able to do as part of the GLOBE program and being part of the GLOBE program. And it's really a wonderful record, I guess, of this part of their lives and how the program is impacting them. And we've seen this before with students as well, that the program has had a great impact and people continue with their involvement in the program, or you know, they may not be involved with the program very much, but they certainly have been impacted by the program, and we see that a lot as well. And you don't have to look very far to see people, alumni that are still involved with the program. A number of you in the audience are alumni that have been involved in the program for a number of years, and hopefully will continue to do that. But it's great that the program has impacted people in that way, and that they want to continue their involvement in the program.
Tony, may I only add that we will show these videos of bloggers later today, and we will work with them later on. And also, I'd like to ask you if you can go to the finish of your presentation, because we are very limited in the time. Thank you so much.
Okay, so Lenka, if you can go to the reminders piece at the end, please. Okay, so one of the things that we have started doing in the last couple of years around the whole community is we have opened up a lot of various pieces of the program that were more confined perhaps to certain groups. So we have opened up the facility to be able to apply for things like working groups. So in case you don't know about the working groups, there are 5 working groups across the program. They are diversity, equity, and inclusion working group, education, evaluation, science, and technology. And teachers are welcome to apply for some of the working groups that are available. The working groups do a lot of important work for the and with the Globe Implementation Office, for example, but then they also generate ideas from the community to also, if there's some aspects that people would like the program to work on, the working groups will often focus on those particular pieces. And so the members of the working groups rotate. And so every year there are a number of seats that become available on the working groups for people to apply for. And we're in that process right now. The nominations end on the 20th of October. If you're interested in applying for one of those groups, you should talk to your country coordinator about being involved in that and apply for the position. We also have an annual survey that goes out. Some of you complete that annual survey every year. Thank you for doing that. And we are starting to look at new ways of distributing the results of that survey. And one of those is through an infographics. We used to distribute it through PowerPoint slides. Now we're looking at infographics to really condense the information from the annual survey and then distribute it. For those of you that are involved in the International Virtual Science Symposium, the theme has been announced and it's the IVSS is off and running. The theme for this year is engineering solutions for a changing climate, and a lot more details on that particular theme and so on are available on the Globe website. Projects have to be submitted by March 11th of next year so that they can go through the assessment. And then, as I said, students will be selected through the, they will be selected during Earth Day of 2022. Next slide. And Earth Day 2022, there will be a celebration for various aspects of the program, and some new initiatives will also be announced at that time, and the drawing will occur as well for the IVSS. The Globe annual meeting, as you may know, we have an annual meeting each year where again, this has changed and it's open to all people across the program. That's going to be held in July of next year, and the location is Denver, Colorado. And we are planning for it to be a face-to-face meeting, at least for right now. And if that becomes a virtual event, just like this particular meeting changed to a virtual event, if that occurs, we'll let the community know as soon as possible as well. But the dates won't change for the meeting, whether it's virtual or face-to-face. And then finally, we do have a portal, a newer portal on the website for people to access or enter publications into the system. And so if you're looking for particular pieces of research or publications or presentations that have been made, you can find this publications portal on the website, and you can go in and access and do a search for publications and presentations. And if you have publication that you'd like to enter into the system, you can also go ahead and do that. There's a pathway to follow to enter the information and so on. So as I mentioned earlier, there are some sessions during the meeting on the Globe Observer, the programs app, Globe Observer, and how that has changed and what some of the newer pieces will be available to you as a teacher. So I recommend that you attend those sessions if you're interested in learning more about the app. I believe at this time it's the atmosphere protocols that have been introduced into the Globe Observer app. So all of the remaining atmosphere protocols have been entered, and the team, the DIS team, the Data Information Systems team, will be adding, I believe, hydrosphere as the next set of protocols onto the app. So and eventually all of the different protocols will be available to you to enter data for, as you would have done on the computer, on a laptop or a regular desktop computer, but you'll have it in your hand in the Globe Observer app. We are also
Tony,
yes. Yep.
So we probably should go to the end because we have another presenters and they can't be with us in any time. So I'm really sorry, but
no, that's okay. That's great. And the presentation will go to you, so it can go out to teachers anyway.
Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you for all the information. Thank you for reminders. And because Tony will be with us during the day, so if you have any questions, please put it to the chat. And I'd like to ask Tony if you can answer the questions through the chat to all people to do it in this way.
Yep.
Yeah. And now we will have a break, but we'd like to show you such a really very nice video during the break. It's Globe Agents of Change. And this is a series of videos telling the story of how Globe is impacting people and communities around the world. The video where the series was created by Globe Implementation Office this year. And now we will see the episode 2. It's a Globe in Latin America, and the other episodes will be screened tomorrow and on Thursday. So you can have a look during the break to this video. And break will be 10 minutes. So we will meet again at 15:30. And yeah, so you can stay connected, just mute the microphone and switch off your camera. And if you signed out, you can come back with the same link that you have. So can we start with the video and the break, and we will meet again in 10 minutes.
Isso dá empoderamento ao aluno. O aluno se sente protagonista da ação.
Zika virus is a public health emergency. By far the largest number of cases have been reported from Brazil.
So how is the virus transmitted? It is transmitted by the mosquito Aedes aegypti.
Aedes aegypti is the primary vector for dengue, chikungunya, yellow fever, and Zika virus.
It's important to implement mosquito control strategies.
Everyone has a role to play.
If we have a robust response, we can reduce disease risk.
Nossa, olha quanto lixo! Os mosquitos podem botar ovos à vontade, aqui seria um ótimo lugar. Caramba! Oi, pessoal do Globo, tudo bem? Pra mim não, aqui desse jeito, eu achei um pneu aqui escuro. Isso é perigosíssimo para proliferação de mosquitos. Essa cidade é muito bonita e cheia de história, mas a gente não pode continuar assim. Tudo começou na escola, quando eu estava no 3º ano. Tem uma professora, que o nome dela é Inês Malad. Ela já foi lá para a sala de aulas e explicou sobre as armadilhas e tal, sobre a pesquisa. Aí todo mundo se juntou, fez um grupo para poder construir uma armadilha. Oi pessoal, tudo bem? Hoje eu vou ensinar para vocês como fazer uma armadilha de mosquito para vocês capturarem os mosquitos e também conseguir analisar eles. Bom, o primeiro passo é você pegar o estilete aqui e fazer um furo na garrafa. No caso aqui já tem um furo.
Quer ajuda para cortar?
Que é muito difícil. Então, se vocês tiverem essa dificuldade de cortar com o estilete, vocês podem continuar com uma tesoura, tá?
Oi, Luiz, tudo bom? Tudo bom com você?
Tudo.
E aí, tá conseguindo fazer as armadilhas, identificar as larvas? Como é que tá o projeto?
Tá ótimo. A gente já conseguiu fazer mais 2 armadilhas.
E eu já trabalho com mosquito desde 2003, que eu ganhei um prêmio quando eu era professora do Estado com prevenção a doenças transmitidas por mosquito. Eu fui me interessando pelos projetos Globos e falei, eu não vou só trabalhar com aluno e não vou lançar dados na plataforma Globo.
O mosquito fêmea, ele vai aqui, ó, e pousar aqui na beiradinha dessa água. Aí ele vai botar o ovo e o ovo vai ficar preso nessa parte porosa que a gente tinha acabado de lixar.
Eu ensinei os alunos a medirem e a gente media e lançava os dados na plataforma Globo. E a gente começou a divulgar a experimentação de usar as armadilhas como habitat artificial de mosquito.
Ah, ali, ó, tá aparecendo a Edis. Cara, eu peguei perfeito essa aqui. Agora saiu.
O aplicativo que usa aquele mini microscópio que usa no celular para você amplificar e você vê, classifica o mosquito, né, pelo sifão e consegue mandar automaticamente os dados para a plataforma Globo pelo aplicativo Globe Observer Mosquito Habitat Mapper. Então, isso é uma coisa, pensa, o futuro chegou, né?
Conseguiu? Sim, tá aqui, ó. Ali fica a minha casa. Muito obrigado por responder minhas dúvidas, tá bom?
Nada, sempre as ordens. Um beijo grande. Tchau.
Tchau.
Isso dá um empoderamento ao aluno.
Como vocês podem ver que eu tô com 2 armadilhas, dá para ouvir o zumbido das fêmeas.
O aluno se sente protagonista da ação.
Então, pessoal, acaba de acontecer um fenômeno aqui, a pupa.
Porque ele é o seu grande multiplicador. Agora, se ele trabalhar com prevenção, meio ambiente, ele vai guardar aquilo para sempre. Ele vai ser um multiplicador dessas ações que ele vai acreditar.
Dear participants, we are at the end of the break of today's afternoon program. So thanks for staying with us for the next session as well. The next session is called The Globe Benefits the Environment, And it's my pleasure to check if we have the speakers. We already could hear Michal Broža, our keynote speaker, and I'm just checking if we have also Allison Leidner with us. Allison.
I'm here and hope
perfect.
Me.
Good to see you, Allison. Thank you.
Just
so yeah, so this is what I wanted to check, and I think we are ready to start a session, right? Lenka also. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed the movie. The movie was actually a great even opening for this session. And that was just the one episode from the series of the movies that the Globe Implementation Office created. And that shows that really the students can be the agents of change, and they can do something for the environment in which they live in. And if you want to see other two episodes, I mean, they are on the YouTube channel, or we will be also screening them during the next 2 days. The other one is from Kenya, and the third one is from New Mexico, USA. But now let me begin the session that we have ahead, and I'm really looking forward to start and to hear what we have on the agenda. So one of the topics of our meeting is really how the GLOBE program can benefit the environment. Those words are part of the name of the GLOBE, because GLOBE is an acronym for the global learning and observations to benefit the environment. And over the years, interacting with the community, during that interaction, we learned that the most motivating approach to attract young people to environmental topics is to let them to be agents of change. Let them not only collect scientific data to better understand what is happening to our planet, but also do something to improve the environment we are part of. And we will see all this in the session. The session is a combined one. So first we will have 2 keynote speakers, and after that we will see some videos and some presentations from GLOBE schools. You will have also some time to post the questions. And now it's my honor to welcome here on our virtual stage Ms. Allison Leidner, the Program Manager for Education and Communication from Earth Science Division of NASA Science Mission Directorate. Allison, the floor is yours.
Thank you. And you were going to show or someone on your side was going to show the presentation.
Lenka will be helping you with that.
Great, thanks, Lenka.
It should be. Please give me a second, Allison.
No problem. You know what, as you're pulling up, just to move things along, I can just say hello to everyone. It's nice to see you all virtually. It's hard to believe that 3 years ago I was able to attend your meeting in person. And so what I want to do today is to start off by thanking you as part of the GLOBE community. It's been a really challenging 1.5 years, but I think that GLOBE has been a real ray of sunshine in this challenging time, and it's really wonderful to see how the community comes together. I also want to congratulate you as a community for receiving the AGU Award for Excellence in Earth and Space Science Education. This is a really big deal because it acknowledges the role of the program over the 26 now year history. And is really an award that I view as being for the program as a whole, for all of the people in this virtual room and for all of the teachers and students and citizen scientists that you work with. The mark that you've made has been really incredible, and so thank you for it. What I want to do now is, if you can just go to the next slide, Lenka, is just give you a little bit of a taste of some exciting things that are happening at NASA. And at NASA, one of the most exciting things that we do, of course, are satellite launches. And of course, the launches that look at Earth are the ones that are my favorite. And so just last week, we launched the Landsat 9 satellite from Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. And Landsat 9 joins a series of continuous measurements that have been made since 1972, so nearly 50 years, and has really been the workhorse of NASA Earth science observations. And it's been a really valuable tool for understanding land resources and water resources and vegetation resources, and has lots of connections to GLOBE data and GLOBE protocols. Thank you, Brian, for sticking that in the chat window. If you go to the next slide, you can see that the way that Landsat fits into this bigger picture of these observations. And I just think that it's, you know, wonderful that we've been able to have these continuous measurements, and also that GLOBE observations such as land cover, and also the green up and green down that I'll touch upon in a minute, that I know has been near and dear to the hearts of the Europe and Eurasia region, is really important contributions to the ground perspective that's provided from our space perspective. But Landsat, and like all science, is not just something that an agency does. NASA does this in collaboration with the U.S. Geological Survey. And in addition, we also collaborate internationally. And so if we go to the next slide, Linka, you can see here, and you can actually start the video and I'll just talk through it. This is what we call a harmonized data set. So as we well know with GLOBE, and as GLOBE really embodies, science is an international endeavor. And what you're seeing here is what we call the harmonization of Landsat data with Sentinel-6 data, so Sentinel-2 data. And what you're seeing here is that combination of data sets. And Sentinel-2 is a European Space Agency satellite that makes similar measurements to Landsat. And between the two of them, in terms of both their spatial resolution as well as the increased temporal resolution we get from having multiple satellites observing the Earth, we're able to see changes in land cover over time in these really detailed ways. So what you're seeing here is an area of the Midwest that is actually very strong agriculturally in the United States. And the red is bare soil, and the green is vegetation. And so what you're seeing is how that changes throughout the year. And Lincoln, you can kind of loop through the video again if you want, just to give people another chance to see it. And I've also included the link for those of you who want to download this and take a closer look and see some of the other related visualizations on our website. And all of our visualizations are publicly available. So please feel free to use them however and as often as you would like in any setting that you would like. But what you're really seeing here is how we can measure green up and green people understand planting seasons, and to help understand and even help forecast crop yields, which is very important for kind of global food security. And so NASA really takes this end-to-end view of science, not only doing the research.
I think Allison joined our meeting. She's with us again, I think.
Yeah, she joined.
So let's see.
Sorry, but could Allison speak slowly, please? Because there are many people not Americans.
Oh, she could hear that.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, it's too quickly. It's too quick. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Sandro, I completely agree with you. The Americans don't understand that other people are not Americans.
No, but it's not because they are used to speak very quickly, but it's difficult to understand. We are many people today that not all of them are familiar with this kind of communication. So you are speaking about satellites, and the satellites goes at very quick speed. So they are influencing your communication. Thank you.
Floor back to Allison, please.
Well, first of all, let me start by apologizing for being a New Yorker, which is even worse than being an American when you come to speaking fast. So I will take a deep breath and take that to heart and slow down for a minute. I also want to apologize for losing you all. I have Zoom is not a very stable platform on my work computer, so I'm actually joining from my phone right now. So taking a step back, I will say that the Landsat launch, which was launched last week, was very exciting for NASA because it helps enable a nearly 50-year record of Earth observations that specifically help us understand patterns, as the name of our satellite suggests, on the land. And so what you're seeing here is a combination not only of NASA satellite data from the Landsat time series, but also a combination of that data with the Sentinel-2 European Space Agency satellite. And what you can see here is the harmonization of that data. So the scientists work very diligently to ensure that the data from the two satellites can work together in terms of understanding where they are in space, and then also understanding the time of the observations, and then also combining information from the different bands, so the different ways that the satellites look at Earth. And so what you're seeing here is the green up of vegetation through time. So the red areas are bare soil, and the green, as I just indicated, was the vegetation. And so that throughout the year, we see this pattern. And this is really important because it helps us understand when to plant agricultural crops, when to harvest them, helps us understand what the yield may be, which is important for the pricing of food, as well as for food security. And while we're looking at an area that's specifically for the United States here in this view, we have the ability to look at this around the world. And so just like GLOBE is able to take measurements, GLOBE students take measurements around the world, and through time, our satellites are able to do that as well. And the complementary view that's provided by satellites with the view on the ground is a really powerful tool. And so the next slide, Lenka, if you can just go to that one, please. Helps just highlight some of these connections of our satellite data, not only Landsat, but our other satellite data as well, to kind of the societal benefit, as we say. So helping understand food security, natural hazard and recovery, linking to understanding aspects of our economy, and also looking at sea level rise and coastal change. Thank you, Dorian, also for sticking that in the chat. And so finally, I want to congratulate, on the last slide, all of the participants in the phenology campaigns from this past spring, and those that are participating in the fall. The work to measure the green up observations and tree height, and also taking a look at the carbon cycle, is really important contributions to this, and has really clear connections to NASA satellite data. So with that, I hope that at least the second half has been a bit slower than the first half. I do sincerely apologize for that. And I really appreciate people saying something, because it's really hard to get that feedback, and it's hard to know, you know, one of the valuable parts of GLOBE is appreciating the global context of the program. And it is very easy to forget, especially I think for Americans, that that taking a deep breath and slowing down is the best way to share our science around the world. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Allison. Sometimes it's not easy if someone is excited about the topic to take a breath and talk slowly. I can fully relate to to that. So, and we know that you're very passionate about your work and about the field that you work in. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for the presentations. And I would just ask you if you have time and stay with us for a little bit longer. Perhaps you can see in the chat if there are some questions. I said that people can post questions to the chat. And
I have a question.
Yeah, Fyodor, you have a question? Okay, so we have time for like one question. So Fyodor, it's yours.
The first is the last one. Okay. It's really very interesting and very high quality presentation, Allison, you showed to us. But you, in one moment, you said that you understand from the Earth what it is better to grow in some places in the Earth. I am not sure that you understand it better than the people who live there in the Earth area. What is better to grow there, and what is better to use, how it is better to use this area. So please explain what did you mean when you said that you understand from these pictures what is better to grow and to how to use it in this area.
Okay. You are absolutely right. Satellites do not ever replace the knowledge that people have of how things work in the place that they work, that they live, and that their families have lived, and that they're, that they're the heritage of that area, and then the knowledge that's been developed over time. You are 100% right. What satellites can help do is contribute to this understanding. And so I apologize if there was anything I said that made it sound like satellites give us all the answers, because that is definitely not true. What they can help us understand is what are the seasonal changes and the yearly changes in weather that may intersect with the knowledge that people have about what to plant, when, and where. And that's a possibility in some places, but not others, right? There's the level of knowledge we have about different places on Earth. And I think that the heritage that we have in the United States has a lot of the indigenous knowledge we have is incredibly valuable, but unfortunately has also at times been lost. But I think that what we can do with satellites data is to contribute to the knowledge that people have about their local areas. And so I in no way meant to indicate that satellite data would replace the knowledge that people have. It works with it. And satellite data are data collected by people too, by people who may have grown up in those areas and have that knowledge to help make those connections. So I really do want to thank you for bringing up that point, because Bear's comment earlier, it's very easy to get excited about the contributions of knowledge of one area, but that in no way diminishes the contributions of other types of knowledge and the incredible value that they have. And so it's the combination of information. It's potentially the combination of information working together in some areas. And the goal of this freely available satellite data is to help people, when they need the information. So you're speaking, but I think you're on mute.
So thank you for the.
Alison, you are completely right. I thank you for your answer. It is really true that what you answered to me. I am completely satisfied.
So thank you for the question, and thank you for the explanation, and also for the conclusion, because I think that's the most wonderful thing, that we have the ground observations and some knowledge based on the heritage that we had, and also we have some global perspective and some detailed data that are collected by the satellites and by other means as well. So thank you, Allison, and thank you also for the challenging question of Fyodor. I think it's very good in the science environment that we have questions like this.
Absolutely.
And, thank you so much. And there are some more reactions in the chat, and you can just read them and perhaps answer to the chat to them. And now I would like to thank you and give the floor to our second keynote speaker. And we have with us Mr. Michal Broža, the head of office of United Nations Information Center in Prague, Czech Republic. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a great honor and pleasure for me to be here and engage with you. It's not easy actually to start my presentation after Allison, because we've heard very interesting points. But let me give you my perspective, maybe from a little bit different area. And if I may, I will share my screen. Hopefully this could work from my end. And if not, It seems to be the case.
Shall I share the presentation for you?
Do you see my screen now?
No, not yet. It might take a little while as we are quite many, so the connection is sometimes
Wait a minute,
slow.
it's coming, it's slow. Yes, you're right. And I can share now the screen.
Yes, we can see it now.
Okay,
at least
good.
myself.
Once again, thank you for having me. And I'll start maybe a little bit pressures, you know, and probably you understand what this actually says, because we live in an interconnected world and things are happening everywhere, and from, you know, different parts of the world we hear, you know, things which may bring us together to see that there is something serious happening and there is something we should do collectively, all of us together, because this is something which is happening with our world, with our planet. It's not only local things like, you know, deserts and forests and Amazon and Siberia. There is a planetary challenges, planetary emergency, not only with regard to the environment, but I think that the environment is something which we want to relay very much to, because that provides for us the space to live and enjoy our lives. And this is actually what the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres presented last week to the leaders of the world. He was telling them, listen, this is serious. This is our common problem, and we have to find common solutions. And he also spoke about not only about the environmental challenges, but about, you know, further issues which may have global how to say that? Sorry, I lost the word. But these are so-called four horsemen, the existential risks for all of us, to humanity. And sorry to be presenting it this, you know, serious way, but I think there are pretty serious concerns we should have. So there, one thing is the geopolitical tensions, particularly among the superpowers, you know, the US, China, but not only the US, China, but also other powers and superpowers who trying to get, you know, their part of the issue. The second thing means the environment. Here, the planet is burning. Maybe it's a little bit too exaggerated, but I don't think it's so much, because what I've mentioned already, the Amazon, the Siberia, Australia, Central Africa, we can see fires going on in the US, in Canada. So it's something we have to really pay attention. And also the growing global mistrust. Do we trust each other, you know, in different parts of the world, but not only there? Do we trust each other locally, you know, among people? So this is another, you know, existential thing we have to take seriously. And last not least is the cyberspace, the new technology, something which may bring lots of positive changes. It can solve lots of global problems, but at the same time, if we leave it just the way it is, that can be misused, maybe even as a weapon of war. So these are the main global concerns for the global community, for the United Nations. Speaking about the environment, which probably is something this group and the GLOBE program is particularly interested in is the environmental crisis. And we see triple environmental crisis, right? You probably know, I'm not probably going to tell you something new, but let's, look at it together. We have a climate crisis, the not only, but particularly the temperature rise. At the moment, we're heading to warming to more than 3 degrees Celsius by the end of this century. And this can bring extremely dangerous change to the ecosystem. So as we often hear, the planet is going to survive, but we have to take care of humanity to survive. The second thing is the biodiversity loss. Again, we have a chance to do something with it, to reverse the trend. Otherwise, we're going to lose a lot, not only the species, but we're going to lose for our own lives something that we really need. It's water, it's food, it's air. So finally, the pollution. That's the third part of the environmental crisis we are going through at the moment. It's not only air pollution, but it's also water, it's soil and other oceans, etc. So I tend to say, particularly in this group, because there are lots of, highly educated people, doing research and educating children, teachers, etc. So I tend to say, we probably all know, but I think that there is very few of us, and I don't mean now this group particularly, but very few people on this planet who really understand that the magnitude of the transformation we have to get through to, to create a stable, healthy environment and world that people can enjoy their lives, getting people to schools and enjoying cultural events and whatever people may like to do. So there is, and you may probably know, the global agenda, which was adopted in the UN 2015, a 15-year long plan, quite complex, quite extensive, but I think this is the way that we can together really transform the human world to the sustainable manner which we are hoping for, which we are looking for, including the social issue like poverty, hunger, environmental issues in the ocean, on the land, issues like climate change, issues of economy, because people would like to get better off in many parts of the world. So this is our roadmap for next 10 years still to go, to really look at the things from the complex perspective, not only concentrating on one thing, but let's see it a complex way that we can really find together common solutions for the challenges we face now. What I would like to stress, we tend to look for, one essential solution. Let's try to find a new technology which can change everything, to take the CO2 from the atmosphere, and we are done. We are okay. No, I don't think that's the case. I think we hold many small keys in education, in production, in consumption, in transportation, in agriculture, in forestry, in fishery. So basically, we need to, each of us have to look our ways, what we can do, what we study, what we do as individuals, how we participate in public affairs, how we vote, etc. So we should not forget that we have the keys in our hands. We are many and we can do quite a lot. And let me conclude with a post, because this is also one of the ways what we can communicate the issues to the world. There is a US climate scientist, Elizabeth Sowen, which I follow for some time already. And I think this is very topical for this kind of meeting. Of course, we have to listen to science, and I really think that science is helping us on many fronts, not only environmentally, but also socially. Look at what is happening on the social media, what kind of disinformation and misinformation and fake news we can hear. But if we base our communication on science, what we really know, science could really help us. But I like this point from a scientist who said, it's not the experts who are going to guide us through these, difficult times, but it's us, the learners, who can listen to science and then transform our lives for a better future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Michal, for the presentation, which was starting on a grim note, but I hope that it's ending on as a challenging note to all the participants, that we all have the keys, perhaps small keys, but we all have them and we should start using them. Thank you so much. And there are already some reactions in the chat, so I think it might be even encouraging for you to follow those. And we can take one or two questions if there are some people who want to raise their voice right now. And if not, we still have time to react in the chat. And I know that Paul Pace, the country coordinator, global country coordinator of Malta, wants to say something. Paul?
Thanks a lot for the great presentation. I really enjoyed it. To be honest, at first I thought it was another doomsday sort of presentation, but I think towards the end, I think it was exactly what we needed. In fact, I would, rather than raising a comment, a question, I would like to raise a comment, because you clearly pointed out that such problems, which are usually called wicked problems, don't have a particular solution. And I think, so it has to be interdisciplinary, and it has to be particularly contextualized to the realities of the learners. And I think one of the things that we need to really sort of pay attention with our investigations in GLOBE is to not sort of narrow our investigations and our insights on just collecting data, but to actually contextualize, that and the realities that kids are facing throughout their everyday life. So I perfectly agree with you, Michal, for raising the issue of the importance to listen to what kids are saying. And let's keep in mind the latest Greta speech, which is available on YouTube, the blah blah speech, which is quite interesting also as a discussion starter with kids in order to help them to come up with suggestions. Thanks again for your presentation.
Thank you very much for your comment, Paul. And of course, I didn't want to scare, and I fully agree. I think we have to, of course, present the solutions, but at the same time, it's good to, raise the voice, to flag where the problems are, and let's, and just saying, well, there are some problems, but of course, and then go the business as usual. We should say there is a true problem and we have the solutions on hand. And I fully agree with you. Thank you for your comment.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul, for that. And thank you, Michal, for adding some more words. And I would, if you allow me, I would now just listen to what you said, and I would just let students to speak. So I am continuing in the agenda. It's like a flow now. because I would like to introduce to you a student which we talk about several times today. It's a Globe student logger, Vella from Malta. And we will now hear her speaking in a short video that she prepared especially for our meeting. So, and I'm not sure if Hannah is with us today in person here. Perhaps she's not, but let's hear what she has to say on those pressing topics.
Hello, my name is Hannah. For me, climate change is like a crisis all the world has to face. Just like COVID, we all have to work together to face climate change and make the world a better place. I think Globe should help our generation realize that to face climate change, we have to work as a team, one for all and all for one.
So that was the contribution of one of the Globe students. And I think Hannah could have been actually a moderator and a facilitator of this session instead of me. And we have her like this, at least virtually. And we will hear one more contribution from her side, let's say at the end of this session as well, which will be about how they connect Globe observations with protecting the turtle nests in Malta beaches. So let's wait for that. Let's look forward to see it. And I have to say that with this goes also a big thanks to the Globe program in Malta, who engaged students in a very useful way in all those activities, because if they don't do anything practical, then they would have nothing to speak about, first of all. So thanks to this Globe team and also to other Globe teams in other countries from which we have a nice presentations and nice contributions. So I'm not sure if there are some questions going on for Michal or Allison in the chat, but let's move to our next Globe teams, which we have in the agenda. And we will have 3 presentations from 3 Globe schools. And first, we have a team from Croatia, from Osnovna škola Šime, Budinića, Zadar. And my question is now, do we have Anita or Jasminka?
Yes, we are here.
Perfect. So are you ready?
Yes, we are.
So I will just remind you that you have 5 minutes to present. And again, for everybody, you can post your reactions or your questions to the chat. And now, I don't know who will start, Jasminka or Anita, the floor is yours.
Is that C?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, everyone. We are Jasminka Dubravica from elementary school Valentin Klarin Preko, and Anita Mustać from elementary school Šime Budinića, Zadar, both from Croatia. Our team is microplastic in water. Microplastic have become well-known environmental concern in all Europe spheres, and Globe Italy and Keynote University have been partnered to develop and test draft protocol for microscopic monitoring. The aim is submitting to a Globe as a new hydrostat protocol proposal. Our 2 schools accepted that invitation to test this protocol. What have we learned? We learned what are microplastics and where do they came from, impact of microplastic on our environment, and how to use scientific equipment. what have we reserved, methodological materials for the students, teacher trainings, student training, and unique microplastic images. First, require material. We need sampling material like telescopic rod, plastic bottles, filtration system, Petri dishes, tweezers, microscope, GPS, camera. Second, project implementation. It took us about 15 hours to implement this project, like live training, self-review, student training, protocol testing activity, and the webinars for all. Now we'll talk Jasminka.
Hello, I'm Jasminka. I will continue this presentation. In this picture, we see the position of auto school. This is the position of elementary school in Zadar, Šime Budinić, and this is my school, position of my school. This is a picture of the place where we took the samples in Zadar. As you can see, it is a local port with many boats. And this is a picture of place where we took samples in Prague. It is a local beach, and at that time, when we took the samples, there were no swimmers in the sea or boats. At each location, we took 3 samples of 500 milliliters with telescope rod. Then samples were filtrated in filtration device. This is filtration device. Then filter papers were placed in Petri dishes and microscoped using a digital microscope. Third part, our results. We found microplastics in each sample. This is some photo of structure in our samples. This red is microplastic. This is picture from Zadar, and this is picture from Prague. This blue is structure is microplastic. And our results from Prague is that we found 24% of microplastic, 26% synthetic fibers, but much more plastic we found in Zadar. 57% was plastics and 5% were synthetic fiber. The reason of these results is that the sampling points in Zadar is a local port, and it was recently a ferry port. Our plan for future is to share our results with the local community and continue the project this year. And our students are very happy with the protocols because they're easy to use, and they were happy to be a part of this project. Thank you. It's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jasminka. Thank you, Anita, that you presented on behalf of your team. And are there any reactions or questions to what Anita and Jasminka were saying? You have the chat, so you can even post there. And I would perhaps just ask, like, how many students did you have involved for this activity?
In my school, 10 students.
In my two.
Okay. So it was also the collaboration between the two schools.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
One on island and the second on land.
So we have. Do we have any questions in the chat for Jasminka and Anita?
Not
any
yet.
reactions? Yeah. So we know that the microplastics was a popular topic last school year, let's say. And let's see what else the schools can do in that, because it's still like a pilot phase. It's not GLOBE protocol yet, although it can be connected with other GLOBE protocols that we have for the hydrosphere. And let's see what kind of research actually you can do in future, and what kind of awareness you can raise in your area, since you are very close to the seashore and the water is an important resource for your locality.
We could have some project on this theme. Our plan is to take samples from another location, maybe several times during this school year, and compare compare the samples.
Perfect. Good. So congratulations. Big regards to your students, and we are really looking forward to hear from you and your team in some other time, some in future. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And as a next, we will have another GLOBE school, and this time it will be a school from Ukraine, if I have it correct here. And do we have Alvard Melkonian, the teacher from Poltava school number 38, and the students?
Hello, everyone.
Alvard is here, okay.
Yes.
And we have also
my students Sirogina Solomia and Demyanko Artem.
We have Solomia and Artem also. And I just want to say that due to technical issues, Alvard and her students, they cannot be together at school, so they are presenting from their homes. And I just want to say that it would not be comfortable for them to reply to the questions in English, as they plan to have interpreter with them, and they don't have it now because they are from home. So feel free to post the reactions to the chat, but I'm sure they will be happy to hear and read the reactions, but just excuse them if they are not replying to you. So Alvard, you can start, or I don't know who is starting from your team. So the presentation is up.
Починайте. Артем, Соломія, починаємо.
Hello, our name is Solomia and my friend Artem. We are students of Poltava school number 38. We present ecological problems of small rivers of Poltava region on the example of the river Yamka. In the process of work of our ecological circle researcher, we dealt with the ecological problems of small rivers of Poltava region. The object of our observation was the river Yamka, which is a tributary of the river Vorskla. We conducted environmental work, leaflets and booklets calling to protect nature and in particular rivers and springs among the local population. Having analyzed the current ecological condition of the reservoir, we can observe negative process on the Yamka River. The water level has dropped significantly in both Vorskla and Yamka.
Most of the river is Collage and therefore has lost its nature Snjezana. Of great importance for the protection of small rivers is the fight against water erosion and solution, retention of river sources, the creation of water retention zones. The inclusion of catchment areas in the nature reserve found and in the ecological network is important for the conservation of biodiversity and ecosystems of small rivers. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Slomia, Artem, and Alvard for all the great work that you do on protecting and observing and protecting the rivers in your area. Perhaps some of the participants can still remember even the video that you prepared for the Water Bodies Challenge, which was on the same topic, and when we could see you in the action cleaning around the river. I think it was the same river. So thank you so much. And thank you also for presenting to us in these difficult conditions that you cannot be together in one computer, at one computer. So thanks, and keep up your very good and useful work. And now, as a third school, we have another school from Croatia, and I think we should have the team of Osnovna Škola Dubovac with us, Snjezana and students. Are they here?
Yes, we are here. Do you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
How many you are?
Good. Okay, do you see the presentation?
Yes.
Okay. Can we start?
Sure.
Okay.
Can you wait a minute?
Okay. Okay. Can we start now?
Sure, you can start.
Okay. Hello, we are students from Dubovac Primary School, Karlovac, Croatia. We will present our project, Who Sowed the Fire, which was awarded on State Globe Competition 2021. During the June and July 2019, we observed the location of fireflies for the project of University of Agronomy Zagreb and sent to them. In September 2019, when we came to the school, we analyzed the data and we concluded that part of the students didn't see the fireflies. We decided to investigate the causes, so we asked a research question. Which environmental factors affect firefly sightings? Our hypothesis was, most firefly observations are in hot days of June and July from students in less populated districts and communities with less artificial light. The research was conducted from the 1st of June 2019 to the 15th of July 2019. These are methods of work: observing and noting locations of fireflies, taking photos, analyzing the results, and comparing the occurrence of fireflies with atmospheric measurements. We investigated which species of fireflies in Croatia. These are Lampiris noctiluca and Lampiris splendidula.
We learned about the structure and characteristics of these insects, also the area where we can find in Europe. You can see on the left picture Lampiris splendidula and on the right picture Lampiris noctiluca. We have shown results on maps and graphs. You can see on the map some parts of the city of Karlovac and some areas outside of the city. They are rounded in blue, and besides are numbers of observations for each area. As we move away from the city center, there are more green areas and more sighting of fireflies. This is part of city center, the number of population, and there is no observations. These are pictures with parts of the city where we have some green area, and the students observed fireflies on MUC 9 and on MUC 1123. These are pictures with areas outside of the city where we have more green area and the students noticing more observations. These are pictures with areas outside of the city where we have more green area and small population, especially Zadar area, so the students noticing the most observations.
This is the graph with number of fireflies occurrences since June 1st till July 15th, 2019 on surveyed area. Green line is observations on MUC 1123, red line is on MUC 9. The most observations was between June 10th till June 16th and June 23rd till June 30th. This is the graph which compares occurrence of fireflies with atmospheric factors in period of the investigation. Orange line is maximum air temperature and blue line is precipitation. Brown line is number of observations on MUC 9 and green line is on MUC 1123. There was no precipitations in the period with the most observations and the days were warm and hot. We made the conclusion the students who have seen the fireflies live in less populated parts or less illuminated areas at addresses away of major roads. The students observed fireflies in hot and warm days without precipitation.
A comparison with other researches of fireflies in Croatia couldn't be done. There is no research from previous years in Croatia. It's important to repeat the observations in the following years with monitoring possible changes. Scientists warn the number of fireflies is rapidly decreasing, although they aren't on the list of endangered animals in Croatia. The communication between fireflies is distributed by artificial light. Long-term desynchronization correlates distribute synchronization for a few minutes. Causes of reduction in the number of fireflies are urbanization and light pollution. These are post-competition activities, educating students, parents, and teachers, presenting project to our local community, publication of research in a local newspaper, publication of research in a biological journal. This is the references. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much. Students and teachers from Osnovna Škola Dubovac, Croatia. It was a really scientific presentation. And thank you also for mentioning what was going on, what you have done after you finalized your research. It's quite important. And there are some reactions going on in the chat. You can follow that. And are there any questions? Dana, do we have any questions in the chat?
No, we don't have any questions. We have nice reactions to the presentation. So maybe I'd like to ask You mentioned, or this research was done in 2019, and you mentioned that you will repeat it. So if you plan it for next year, or if you started to organize it or plan how to do it?
Yes, we did it this year and last year too. We did the same research, but also we are teachers presenting this work to other teachers, so they can do it too, maybe next year.
Thank you.
So we all know that fireflies are such a beautiful and even magic creatures that we have around us. And it's nice that even the Globe students could track them. And can you just tell us how you call the fireflies in Croatian?
We call them Krijesnice.
Can you repeat?
Krijesnice.
Okay, thank you. So thank you for the presentations, and if we don't have any other questions in the chat, we can continue in our program. And the next we will have, the next we are coming back again to Hannah, and we will have another video piece that she prepared for the Globe community. So thanks to all the 3 student teams that presented, 2 from Croatia and 1 from Ukraine. And then now let's see one more contribution from Hannah from Malta.
Hello, I'm Hannah from Malta. Last year in Malta, we had a record number of turtle nests. This is why today I will be showing you how to best monitor a turtle nest. The loggerhead turtle, scientifically known as the caretta caretta, is a long-living, slowly maturing marine species that inhabits tropical to warm temperature areas. This species is classified as globally endangered by the World Conservation Area and is also protected by various national and international legislation. The fact that it is endangered makes it all the more important to monitor and investigate what makes such nests successful. So turtle nest monitoring involves data collected on surface sand temperature, ground sand temperature, sand humidity, air temperature, humidity, barometric pressure, and cloud cover. The data needs to be collected from the nest 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening, throughout the whole incubation period. To take surface sand temperature, one needs an infrared thermometer. First, point the thermometer towards the surface you want to take the reading. Then press the button. The reading will appear on the screen. Right now, it is 30.4 degrees Celsius. To take ground sand temperature, one needs to use a wireless data logger with 2 probes, one 20 centimeters deep and the other one 80 centimeters deep. Then insert the probes in the sand and check the screen for readings. For constant and accurate readings, it is best to leave the probes always in place in the sand and then touch the data logger when you need to take the reading. For air temperature, humidity, and pressure, all one needs is a data logger. Using the data logger, one should press the buttons for temperature, humidity, and pressure. The temperature is 31. The The pressure is 1015.9. The humidity is 68.3. To take sand humidity, one needs a moisture meter. Insert the probe deep inside of the sand and press the buttons to check the humidity of the sand. Right now, the humidity is 12.3. The ground sand temperature needs to be analyzed and plotted against time to study the changes in temperature during the day along the incubation period. The gender of the hatchlings is determined between day 20 and 30 of incubation. For loggerhead turtles, a nest temperature higher than 29 degrees Celsius produces more females, whilst one lower than 29 produces more males. I've had the experience of monitoring a turtle nest between May and August of 2020. Nature Trust Malta was entrusted with the care and supervision of the nest. During the incubation period, when the gender of the turtles is determined, the temperature never exceeded 31 degrees Celsius. A total of 83 hatchlings made it to sea from a total of 104 eggs. Usually, nesting season in the Mediterranean Sea is around June and July. As the one I monitored was an early nest, and sand temperature just exceeded 30 degrees Celsius, most hatchlings were males. Comparison of data from different nest sites show that the physical environment, weather conditions, sand temperature, and sand humidity all have a determining role in the success rate of a turtle nest. Thanks for watching. Make sure you catch up on my other episodes and subscribe to the Globe Implementation Office to get notified whenever a new episode is posted. Bye!
So how did you like the vlogger's video piece? Yeah, so thanks for your reactions, and we are really having some talents in Globe, not only in the research field, you can see, but even in the communication field. And we are coming to the point where we can reflect a little bit on all the presentations that we have seen in the session. And that's the time for me to open the discussion. To open the discussion for you, for reactions, not that much to the individual presentations and details that they talked about from their research and from their activities, but to reflect on what each of us, what we can do to support students in their way to be the agents of change, to do something to benefit the environment. And my questions for the discussions are, the first question is, what do you think that motivates students the most to be part of those activities? How do you motivate them? How do you get students into the activities where they go beyond collecting data, but they also create awareness, or they connected to the local community environmental issues, for example? So either you can post your ideas to the chat, or you can raise your hand, and you can sign that you can give us a sign that you want to speak. So I'm asking, what motivates the students to be part of those activities, or to start with such activities? Rafaela wants to speak, please.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Bara. I think the main motivation activity is to give the teachers support, because when the teacher gets support from us as a team, they can lead the students for extra activities, and they do it enthusiastically. So it's very important to build for the teachers a pedagogical support.
Thank you for the reaction. I'm just adding that Rafaela is the country coordinator of the GLOBE program in Israel, and that's why she's talking about the support from the team of the GLOBE implementators, let's say. And I can see we have also some ideas in the chat. From Xavier, he says that if pupils feel the ownership of the project or activity, then they are on board. So the feeling of ownership, it's a big thing. And then we have a contribution there from Zoran, that learning outside versus learning in the classroom, it's much easier to motivate kids with outdoor learning. Okay, that's based on, I believe that's based on Zoran's experience, who has experience with both of these. Any other contribution? Vesna and then Ira.
Hello to everyone. I just wanted to say that for Globe Elementary, we are trying to involve some values in teaching children, because to maintain the interest in science and measurements, we have to do stories and involve them emotionally in that. So it could be the key. And also I agree that we have to connect together. Yes, we have some solutions. Thank you.
Thank you, Vesna. Thank you so much. Ira, you wanted to say something.
Yes, good day to everyone. I always felt, and the GLOBE made it very clearly, this is the importance of feeling as a partners with my students, and they like to be partners with the teachers. And this partnership, it's very crucial to do everything together. It's not from the position I am older, wiser, more educated, and so on. We learn together when we do such projects, and we talk about everything as friends, and that sense of friendship and partnership means a lot to them.
Thank you for your view, Ira. And we have also Anna, who wants to say something, and after that, Batia.
So I think since I'm for a long time with GLOBE, and since this time, the motivation of students has deeply changed, because we have nowadays Fridays for Future and young people who are energetically occupied with climate, with nature, and with the development of climate change. And I think the duty and the opportunity we have is to fill this this enthusiasm with real deep knowledge. And this is the motivation which has changed, but it's nowadays wonderful, because many, many young people go with you and are open for research on natural phenomena, I think.
Thank you for making this connection. Yeah, Batia?
Yes, I think we have to introduce our teachers to relevant issues, about their environment, to invite them to have with their students a lot of experience, a lot of hands-on, a lot of make with instrument to explore things. They love it. They make them a lot of motivation.
Thank you. That was the practical hands-on aspect highlighted by Batia. And I can see that Paul raised hand as well. Paul, please.
In fact, I want to continue a little bit on what Batia just mentioned. I think there has been an evolution also in the nature of the knowledge that is discovered during these investigations. I think it's more of an issue of relevance to the students' interests. There has been a change from knowledge for its own sake to knowledge as a key to understand and enable, empower kids to take actions in particular ways. I think that is one of the things that is important for us as educators and for kids to engage in these activities, that what they're doing is not something for for the future, for when you grow up, and that type of mentality, but it is actually knowledge which is important today, which has a sort of, what do you call it? Not implication, a relevance, a currency to what can be done today in our day-to-day decisions. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ramona is raising hand. Ramona, please.
Hello, everyone. And yes, I would like to add to what Paul said. Through the GLOBE program, the students are not only getting the opportunity to go outside the classroom and to apply what they learn in class into real life situations, but it is giving them the opportunity to be the agents of change. They are the change. And from my experience with the GLOBE program now in the past 3 years, I have seen a change in the students. They are using this opportunity. As you have seen the videos from Hannah, it gave her the opportunity to prepare these videos. It's improving her public speaking skills, but they are also bringing change by addressing the issues to those who are at top. For example, we had an interview with the mayor of a particular locality. So they are, yes, finding the results, getting the results, but giving the answers to these and giving solutions to these problems and forward their, all these to those at top who can, yes, bring about change. So GLOBE is proven to be a very important tool in schools. Thank you.
Thank you for the contribution. And I have one more question for this discussion. And my question is, when your students or you as teachers, when you do projects like this, when you really investigate the local environment, and when you communicate that to the local community, what reactions or what feedback are you getting from people around, from parents, colleagues, scientists, citizens? Are you getting any actually? Do you have some example to share of feedback to what you do? Again, you can post it to the chat, or if you want to speak, raise your hand. So the question was, what kind of feedback or reactions are you getting from people around you when you communicate, when you share what you do in GLOBE with your students? And Ramona, yeah, you raised your hand now,
Yes,
right?
I can continue. In fact, I was already saying that we reached out to the wider community, and it's not just the local community. Yesterday, I mentioned this during the meeting we had. Through international programs, we are reaching out across borders. An example which comes to mind is the eTwinning platform. It's not only with local people, but also involving other students, other teachers from abroad. And at school, from my experience, when we carry out an investigation and take action, we don't stop there. We invite the parents, teachers from other schools to come and see the results and to give them ideas on how they can be part of the change. It doesn't stop at school. So yes, we do involve, and also on social media, on local news, we try to spread the word. And the feedback we get is really encouraging, because they tell us this is what we need today, that students speak out and involve others.
Thank you, Ramona. Is there any other example of what kind of feedback are you getting, or your students are getting, perhaps? Rafaela.
Last year we had a municipality project, Urban Heat Island campaign in a city named Kfar Saba. Dana was invited to our meeting with the mayor. So all the activity of the GLOBE program in the city was collaborated with the municipality, with the mayor, and it was published all over, and the student showed the mayor the results of their investigation. So it made a lot of waves concerning their local activity, and they felt like they can influence the mayor's decision concerning the municipality gardens and all around their schools. So it was very meaningful for the students, the sharing with the community.
That's a nice example. Thank you for this. And I can see Vesna is raising hand. Vesna, please.
Shortly. One idea is in our kindergarten, we started to involve families and parents to do Global Observer. And through our project, they're sharing with us some photos, artistic photos that the children are taking pictures of the clouds and atmospheric some atmosphere. And it's kind of involving the parents and doing together with children, and they're forming by themselves some groups, and we will see how it will go. We started 2 months ago. For now, we have 2, and 3 of them just reported to me that they will start doing Globe Observer. And that's one way.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's what the smallest kids, it's perhaps easier to involve parents because they have to assess them, right? So thank you for bringing this up as well. So I'm just looking at the time we have, and now we were supposed to bring our discussion to the end and hear from one of our colleagues, from Greece. And I'm not sure if we have Talia here.
I'm afraid that we don't have Talia, and we also don't have Kostas at this moment.
Okay.
We tried to contact them on WhatsApp, but no answer so far.
Okay, so we continue. We continue. We'll see if we have them in like 2-3 minutes. And if not, we will just skip their piece. But we have Lenka with us, and Lenka just prepared some final thoughts on the topics that we saw, and some encouragements also.
So thank you, Bara. I will take the floor now, and in case Talia and Kostas join, we will just switch the presentation. I think it's fine. So let me share my screen. I hope you can see it well. And my presentation, which is almost at the end of our meeting, will be about the importance of letting others know about your research, about your activities, about the things that you are doing within the GLOBE program and within your school. And I also want to bring you some ideas on how to do it. This is based on our experience from the GLOBE program regional office, that we actually get the experience from you, from your good practice examples, and also from our work in the Czech Republic, in GLOBE Czech Republic. So maybe you are feeling like these 2 little colorful buddies who did a very nice project in their GLOBE team, but well, they are not sure if they should tell about it to others. Maybe it would just bring them a lot of extra work, but what else would it bring to them? And hearing the presentations today and knowing all the schools, I'm pretty sure that you do have many very nice projects to share with others. So why should you do it? Why is it good to let know? Yeah, there are several reasons that I would like to point out why actually you should tell others, why you should let know GLOBE community, but also people outside of the community, GLOBE, in your surroundings, for example. So First, education and activization. Maybe you're trying to change something around you to achieve something, and you're wondering why people are, let's say, polluting some place. They will only change their behavior if they will be educated. You have the power. You can actually bring the enlightenment to them, open the topic, and help people to understand why some behavior is not okay, or why some behavior is okay. Why should they get involved in your project, for example? You can also get a support from others, from your communities, from a municipality, for example, and not only help in working in your project, but also you can cooperate with companies, get the funding for your project, which is a very important aspect of any work. Inspiration, that's, I think, being at this meeting and having everyone here open to share the experience and their activities, it's quite clear. If we don't share, if we don't inspire each other, we will not move so fast forward. So this is something very important for everyone. And then, of course, publicity can raise awareness of your projects. It can bring awareness to not only to the project, to the activity, but also to your team and to your school, and raise its prestige in your surroundings. So this is also an important aspect of telling about your projects. Well, I hope it sounds reasonable what I was just saying, that you agree with me that these benefits can be from sharing your experience, but maybe you were not sure how to do it. Maybe it seems complicated. So I will just give you a few ideas of what you can do, how you can start with letting others know about your projects. One quite quick and easy way how to do it is share your results, share your activities at social networks. I think it's something that especially students very much appreciate. They are usually very good in working with social networks. And social networks, you can share even a little progress in your projects, even a little achievement. It doesn't have to be really a result of your long-term activities. Just that you met and discuss something, it's also good enough. There are, of course, different social networks, so each of them is good for something else. You can share videos at YouTube. You can take a quick pictures from your activity and post it on Instagram, or you can write some comments, share some thought on Facebook or on Twitter. The variety is quite big. If you're a little bit more experienced with writing, then do not worry to publish your results. Do not worry to work on a little bit bigger article, or even write a report describing what you have achieved, how you started, how you progress, and what you are aiming to do, really. You can send such article or such report to local media, for example, or you can create your blog or share it at a school website, for example, which is also a very nice way how to let other students from your school know that they can maybe help you in your project and join it somehow. But informing about your project, it doesn't have to be only writing something to some electronic way. You can also go outside and try to tell your local communities, try to show your local communities something in terrain. So here I have two examples. One is from Ireland, where students try to motivate people to change their behavior when bringing students to school, so that the cars are not coming to school and polluting the air. So they prepare such an information table. The other one is also a school project about biodiversity in the surroundings. So students inform local communities like this by a banner on their school fence. You can even go a step farther and invite the community to join you, to do some action with you. These are 2 school projects that were focused on the municipal waste management in 2 different towns. So students organize even where they invited parents, local citizens, even the city administration to come, join, and collect the rubbish together. Just, you know, as a first step to let others know that they want to change something, that they need help, and that everyone is welcome to be part of their projects. And last idea, just be creative. I just gave here a few quick ideas of what you can do, but I'm sure you can find many more ways how to let know about your project, such as authors of this beautiful Lego-made garden. This was a way how to tell people close to their school that they want to improve the park, which is in front of school. So this is a model of future park that they wanted to achieve. So feel free to take any way you find pleasant and effective. So yeah, maybe now you're thinking, well, we could try, but we need some more ideas, some more information. And I have one information source for you. It is a handbook of young reporters, which was created within the PULCHRA project. It was already mentioned here in this meeting. PULCHRA is an international project which is very closely related to GLOBE. It consists of 12 partners from 10 European countries who are working together, and they are trying to change the city environment towards a better state. And the handbook was created as a guide for students to inform about their project. So it's written in, it contains all the basics of different communication. It also brings you information about security on internet. So you can get there a lot of information for your work. You can download it from the link here. We will also share the link in the chat. So I want to thank you for your attention. And before I stop talking, I want to emphasize that really every effort counts. It's always better to try to let know, to write a little article than to not write any article, because then no one will know about what you are doing. So I really encourage you to go ahead and let know people around you, let know also us, how are you doing with it. Thank you very much.
Permit me to say some words, Bara.
Shortly.
Thank you very much, Lenka, for such a great and nice presentation. I only want to say that really there is not universal ways how to do this your work visible for everyone and outside. But you really showed a lot of ways how it can be done, and it is sort of not the how to say instruction, but some sort of help to people, to students who decided to show their works for outside. Thank you very much. It was very nice for me to hear from you.
Thank you very much, Fyodor. And you're exactly right. Each of us is different. Each of us prefers different way of communication. Each country is different. So yeah, let's choose the best to everyone. Thanks.
Yeah, it was a very nice point that you made. And thank you, Lenka, for the presentation. And that's for us, this step to communicate and to inform people it's like one of the last steps of the work that we do with the students. Obviously, we can then do another research and another work and another communication, but it's something which comes usually at the end as a dessert, let's say. And we are also coming to the end of today's sessions, and as a dessert for you to end in time, because we should be ending in 4 minutes. So as a dessert for you, we have one more short video, which was created by another Globe student. This time it's a student from Croatia. Her name is Gita, and she's from Osnovna škola Eugena Kumičića Slatina. And she actually prepared a piece of art. You will see it yourself. It's a video which you will not see her on the video, but it's a video which I'm sure that involves so much of time to prepare as any other animation would. So please enjoy the video. Have a nice evening, morning, noon, or whatever part of the day you have. And please join us for tomorrow's sessions. We are starting with Growing Up with Globe session, full of, again, student presentations and videos. And then we will have a session on collaboration where we will have more discussions as a part of the session. So join us for tomorrow if you can. And now enjoy the video from Gita. Thank you. Thank you for the attention. Thank you for your involvement, and see you tomorrow.